Right, what's up? What's up? We are getting back into this MKU Primetime and Night action. We have a matchup between version 2, the Thunder from Down Under, and Kartnita Asada, the Kevo show. Uh, this is a matchup that I've been looking forward to. Version 2 is a team that's heavily favorited in this match, but KA is very strong. They they have a team makeup that they're very assured with. Kevo being a player who's really cracked for them. So I'm excited to see what KA can do against this stacked version 2 lineup.
Yeah, for sure. I know I was talking to a lot of other people, before this match, for the past few days, and V2 are certainly a pretty big favored team to win this match,
I
seeing as they
honestly
won
think,
their division last season, and overall their player core improving pretty fast.
yeah, version 2, a team that has greatly improved in the past few seasons. They're coming off, they already won a division last season, and they want to keep that success going. KA has had a few rough seasons in the past, but players for them like Kevo and Ivan have been really grinding on this game, and their level has really skyrocketed as well. So it's going to be interesting to see if players like Kevo and Ivan can really take KA to the win here.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be a really good match to watch, and I assume even better to cast. Uh, Looks like we should be getting started in a little bit. So for the lineups on version 2 side, we have Anthony, Ensy, Henry, Muden, Renai Circulation, also known as Zenith, and Shadow.
Yeah, and coming out from Kartnita Asada, we have Osmar, Ivan, Diego XT, Vlady, Kevo, and Luis Mexico. A little lesser known players, at least the names from Kartnita Asada. Obviously Kevo stands out as a really big player, but he does have solid support now from his teammates as we head into this match.
Yeah, for sure. And version 2 lineup, it's pretty standard. The Ensy, Zenith, Anthony. It's kind of what you expect.
Uh, and our track selection is going to be RMP version two's track selection. They're starting off in top four, and this is one of their runners they're very used to. So KA is going to have to hope to get some maybe draft bumps at the start here if they want to get a solid footing.
And with V2 starting in top 4, they're gonna be starting off on the better foot here, to say the least.
Yeah, watching this race from the perspective of Enzy here in those top spots with V2, gonna have to look out for bumps, but bumped wide a bit. He's in seventh now, holding a nana here.
Yeah, looks like spots are relatively mixed with not really anyone taking the cut in that top spot. We see at least 2, 3, 4 for V2, maybe even oh that's actually Havosmar in second.
Yeah, those bumps coming in to really hinder Enzy. He's hit down to ninth now, still holding a single banana. Gonna have to throw it away to chain. Not sure how he can really get back up to that front. Maybe he'll chain some shrooms, but I think we're gonna start to see the top spots breaking away at least a bit here.
I'm kind of seeing some V2 get taken out as well, with Henry I think getting taken down to like 10th or 11th.
Yeah, now swapping to Kevo's perspective, he's trailing a red here in sixth. He had to back that because he was drafting off of his teammate, but it looks like we have Osmar in second, Kevo in fourth. I'm not sure who that is. That wasn't teammate, but he gets redded out.
I think this is 2, 3, 4, 5 I think for KA, with Shadow in first, surprisingly, being the
Yeah,
N-word.
I just saw blue come in, and I'm pretty sure it did connect with Shadow. So the tides have turned for KA here. Even though Kevo got bumped into that, I think we should still have a top two from their team.
Yeah, at the very least the top 2. Switching over to NZ here, someone from KA gets nuked, like absolutely nuked, and we see
Yeah,
Havosmar in second.
a really clean bomb snipe coming in from downtown to sort of take out one of KA's top spots here. I think it looks like at least a 3-4 for V2, which is solid, but KA still, it looks like they should be comfortable in top two here.
Yeah, NZ can't really do anything with this fire since he kind of has his teammates in front of him and like one behind him in 7th, so
Yeah, actually looks like
Havasmar gets taken out.
yeah, Zenith was able to chain something, but then Havosmar throws a red up and takes him out, but it looks like Ensy is getting third here.
That's 2-3 pretty sure for V2, but KA. Yeah, that's a pretty big race for KA. 134 or 1456, but the bottom two kind of hindering it a little.
Yeah, it was very good that V2 was able to, going back to that bomb snipe, able to take out a top three from KA and, get at least a 3-4 there. Uh, so, lessening the blow and Kartnita Asada getting that bottom two as well. But a really good job there by Kartnita Asada getting into those top spots and, I've mentioned it before. We all know how hyped up Kevo is, but it actually was his other teammates who were getting up there into the top and really dominating.
Yeah, and that ended up being a very close race in the end, only being a +2 in favor of KA.
Yeah, but if you're Kartnita Asada and you're starting off with the other team in top four on one of their best running tracks and you get a +2 race, you got to be pretty happy there.
Yeah, you'll take 1456 any day of the week. And chaining that with their pick on Toad Harbor, KA are looking really good going into this race.
Yeah, Ivan, one of these breakout players for Kartnita Asada. He joined them recently, a few seasons, I think, but he is the support that they really needed, and he can be just as much of a threat as Kevo can be.
Yeah, we see him holding on to first, actually. I think Anthony failing as well, so Ivan's gonna be breaking away a little bit into first.
Yeah, he still has Muden and Inzi behind him. Uh, I think kind of
Yeah,
doing some teleportation there,
oh,
but
that's 2 through 6 actually for V2 as we go near the middle of lap 1.
yeah, the pressure is on for Ivan right now, but it looks like some of V2 got hit, maybe by some back spams there. Enzy able to throw a red up at least, taking out Kevo.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's still KA in first though. Kevin with the plants in 8th, just kinda chilling.
Yeah, Ivan probably has to hold on at this point though, because I think we're looking at possibly a bottom three. Going back to Kevo's perspective, he's doing some crate driving into right now. Uh, Spamming some fire back as well. I guess he's hoping to get a good star chain here because KA is in a pretty nasty predicament right now.
Yeah, KA are 9-10, but bottom 2, not entirely sure who that could be except Anthony in last.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right
this is 9
now
10 11 for KA.
I would be surprised if Ivan is able to survive at this point. If he does not get at least one teammate up there behind him, he might have been taken out at this point. But Kevo has pretty decent items for 10th place. The pack is still close and he has a bill here.
Yeah, oh, Enzy with triple reds, he bought a grief, dude.
Yeah, those
Uh,
triple reds, very scary.
Anthony actually hasn't really used anything in last from what I've noticed for the past like lap and a half, so the potential for a V2 shock coming up.
A
Okay,
shock
Enzy
in
has
pocket
shock
here,
in 10th.
indeed. It's
So,
really going to be interesting to see how they use this.
alright, so shock comes in. Seems like it gets a couple V2 into the boxes and maybe KA spots like after.
Yeah, Vlady here as well. It got V2 into boxes, but they're back here and people
Yeah,
are
but all of
already
KA
crossing
are.
the line.
Yeah,
That
it's gonna be
might have,
10-12 pretty sure for V2.
yeah, 10-12, but top two. I think that's a pretty solid race for them there, to say the least. I think we might have been looking at, you noted that Anthony wasn't really using anything in last there. So he was either pulling a ton of shrooms or perhaps he pulled a blue at some point, but solid race for V2.
Yeah, they're gonna be turning the lead into their own favor so far, being up 4 after 2 races.
Yeah, another very tight race. The shock wasn't as impactful as they might have hoped. Obviously, not a huge race, but if Ivan or any of KA was still up there in the front, they secured a top two, so you can't really ask for much more in that situation.
KS coming in here.
Yeah, it appears to me as if MKS is sort of a well-known staple for Kartnita Asada. I actually had the insider info to notice that Ensy was time trialing this track before this war, so they knew that KA was going to be going here, and he's prepared.
Yeah, dude, Enzy is warmed up for this track, so we'll see if his time trialing before this match does him any good here.
Interesting to see that he opted there to not take the Nisk. I'm a little bit curious about that. Maybe he just didn't want to take any bumps, pull some shrooms like he just did here, but he's now solidified his position as just a middle spot.
Yeah. Oh, switching over to Kevo here, he's chilling right now doing the glider first. And I
Yeah,
think his teammate's in second as well, but I couldn't really see that too well.
yeah, Kevo gets to flex his pretty hype glider strat there.
Ooh, Ensy getting
Yeah,
sniped.
that was a brutal green, sends him into the wall as well. That cut there being very dangerous, but now Kevo is going to be taking a blue in first. Teammate behind him.
Yeah, it looks like they're still going to be 1-3. However, Henry with the shroom in second. He's probably going to be taking cut here and maybe even breaking into first.
Yeah, triple nana shroom for Kevo. Interesting combo, but he takes a pretty massive boomerang. That's really interrupting his game plan.
2-3 at the very least for KA.
Yeah, I'm not sure who we're looking at first. It's actually KA, so top 3, maybe even top 4?
Yeah, this is like top 3-5 actually for KA. This is looking huge if nothing changes.
Yeah, you know, unless there's a shock of some sort, which there isn't. Okay,
Yo, Kevo,
alright.
dude!
Motion glider from Kevo. Okay, odd flex.
Yeah,
You were
he
getting
just
top
had to
3
flex that.
anyway.
You gotta give that to him, dude. Top 3 for KA.
Top
Top
3,
3 6
6.
too. That's a pretty big race for KA.
Yeah, that's a very big race, and that's what they wanted. You know, as I said, MKS a staple for this team. They were able to rely on it and get that top 3, and also Kevo was able to flex motion glider.
Dude, Kevo actually just flexed on the entire lobby here.
Yeah, indeed, dude. And you know, Kartnita Asada now going DKJ. They're gonna want to abuse the fact that they're in top 3, breakaway on jungle. But TM could be lethal if V2 can pull enough shrooms to take that initial cut there.
Yeah, the track pick for this race is going to be quintessential to see how this race goes. And it's going to be TM in favor of V2, so.
Yeah, you know, if you're V2, then you're hoping you can pull shrooms. But sometimes the shroom luck is not kind, and the other team can just be too far ahead to the point where you basically have to say that we need shock. So it's going to be interesting to see if they do indeed pull those shrooms here.
Oh, second place from KA blowing out, turning that into just top 2 at the very beginning of the race.
Yeah, Kevo left with a Nana. He's not going to be. Well,
He
got
gets
sniped out there.
clapped.
Indeed.
And I'm pretty sure I saw 2 or 3 V2 taking cutted, or at least Zenith did, into first, so.
Yeah, the shroom strategy did work out. Ensy has 4 shrooms now. Bumping the wall not being any hindrance to him. He still has plenty of shrooms to help him catch up to this pack. Has Diego and Ivan in front of him, so it looks like mixed spots at the least.
Yeah, and as for the bottom 4, we can't really tell as, like, specifically who is in 10-11. We can tell, though, that Enzy's right here in 9th and Anthony's in last, since he's the Roy. So, I guess it's kind of a situation of both teams not really actively going for shock, but just kind of patrolling one another to make sure the other doesn't pull it.
Yeah, it's been something very interesting to see because Anthony, time ago, used to be, you know, lauded as V2's best player, their best runner. He was the one they relied on to score the big points and, you know, grab the dubs. But as we've seen in multiple races this war, he's actually been the pack player, the shock bagger. That's sort of the role that he wants to see himself in right now this war. And I'm not sure if it's going to come to fruition.
Yeah, as we see KA at least are taking a lot of the mid spots here.
Yeah, triple reds in pocket for Kevo. He's gonna get a
Yeah,
red
it's gonna
off
go
on
straight to Shadow.
Shadow.
3-4-5
Now,
at least.
yeah, three,
Oh,
four,
the blue.
five.
And the shot
Well,
comes in.
I'm going to assume. Well, I can't assume anything right now. but that might have been an Anthony shock. He was
I'm
back
almost
there all race.
Yeah, I'm almost certain that was a V2 shock, since Kevo had a star after his shrooms, but he didn't use his shrooms and spam his stars if it was a KA shock, so
Yeah, you have a very fair point there. It actually looks like a large amount of V2
yeah,
did
V2 are
dodge
getting
up at the end there.
3-4 at least. Top
Oh, a
4
top
6
4,
for
6,
V2.
dude. And, I was asking the question, is Anthony being the bagger going to work out for V2? Well, there's your answer. Top 4, 6. Shock being massive on this track, and if you're V2 right now, you're big chillin'.
Yeah, Anthony was actually the boss gamer that race, pulling shock and making V2 break up into top 4 6. And now V2 are winning the war by 16 after the first GP. So
Yeah, a quick reversal from the fate that they suffered on MKS there. Uh, the TM track pick working very well in their favor, and now we're
and
going
it's
to
picking
NBC.
them.
Indeed.
So V2 are looking pretty comfortable going into this race right now.
Yeah, something interesting that I've noted here is, we talked about Shadow being an impactful player for V2. He's improved a lot. Um, Definitely solid in their top 4 best players as a runner. But they've been they picked RMP and now NBC, and those tracks are kind of known to be a worse track for N-word. But, he's a trooper. If those are the tracks they're comfortable on, Shadow's chatting up and he's running still. Kevo getting taken out here, so V2's gonna hold those top spots.
And we see him actually still holding on to the second, as V2 are top 2 and KA are 3-5, it appears.
Ooh, a fire. That fire being massive. Actually, it looks like a 2-3 from KA at the
It seems
very
like KA were
least
able
here.
to take the cut there after taking out Shadow, so they're 2-3 at the very least. Ensy trailing his teammate, unfortunately.
Yeah, very unfortunate. And now they're dealing with a 2-3-4 from KA.
It was a plant, but Kevo hits him with
Wow.
the fire before he
Yeah,
can activate his plant.
right as I was about to say that plant might be huge for Enzy to disrupt their top spots. Kevo pulls that fire and just takes Enzy out of the picture. It looks like a majority of these guys have shrooms, but uh, who do we have here? Henry in
And
first.
and Ivan with the fires. It doesn't connect though, but they're still 2-3-4, so
Yeah, I'm assuming right now that if you're KA, the plan would be to bomb snipe Henry if they can. I'm not sure why Kevo opted to trail his bomb. I thought he had his teammates behind him, but maybe he's just trusting in the fact that his teammates won't catch up to him.
yeah, that's kind of weird. He's gonna try to chain reds though at the very last second to get Henry out of the glider, maybe.
It looks
And it
like
does connect.
it did connect, but too late.
The last second shock
Probably,
though.
yeah. We might be looking at a 2-3-4 still from KA. It was interesting his game plan there with that bomb. He didn't go for a glider snipe or anything. Yep, a 2-3-4.
Two,
Very
three,
solid
four, eight,
race.
10, 10, 8, 9, 10 for KA. It's not bad, but I'm not sure I agree with what Kevo did there. Since his teammate was holding a red going into the second set, and he passed his teammate and started trailing the bomb like immediately going into the S turn.
Yeah, I almost feel like that might have been just a reaction from Kevo that he didn't really expect to pass his teammate, and then something told him to trail that bomb. But thankfully, it didn't connect with any of his team. He was still able to get 2-3-4. Uh, V2 starting that race in a really strong position, and just like we saw on RMP, KA was just able to get themselves up into those top spots and make it more of a mixed race.
And the fact that I'm pretty sure that was a V2 shock at the very end as well, so if they were holding shock all the way to the very end, they probably would have used it to cancel any reds going for Henry to secure him getting first place as they did there.
Yeah, it was interesting the shock came at the end. I would assume that they wanted to hold that shock just so they didn't mess up Henry, especially with 3 KA behind him. But it might have just been a last second spam as well.
We're gonna see some bagging action here from Kevo, it seems.
Yeah, Kevo electing to stick to the mid pack, get the 10 coins that he needs to catch up. Probably hoping that his teammates pull the shock before V2 does, if a shock is pulled. But just, standard slowing on the set, looking for the star, which he pulls here.
So yeah, if KA managed to pull shock and use it relatively fast, then Kevo will be in a really good spot. Zenith holding a bill. So he's
Yeah,
gonna be going the bill strat.
Kevo also with the ghost in his pocket, he's gonna come up to I believe that was a predicted shock. That was V2 dodging themselves in that bill strat, shadow dodging as well, and Kevo got the memo and was able to predict it with his ghost.
And now Zenith and Shadow, I'm pretty sure, are kind of up here. Well,
Yeah,
actually, yeah, okay, Zenith is in first, and I'm pretty sure V2 is in third or if not fourth as well.
yeah. If you're Kevo, you have to be really scared about any reds, but it actually looks like, oh
Oh,
no,
and the drift doesn't
oh.
come out. That's
Thankfully, that didn't go as bad as one would think.
and it doesn't
Kevo's
pull any
life
reds behind
probably
Zenith. Another
flashing before his eyes there, but he at least
last
secured second and
another
another shot.
last minute shock as well.
That was really scary if you're Kevo. His life was definitely flashing before his eyes. He has to be kicking himself there that he had a really strong shot at getting first, but it happens to all of us.
Yeah, happens. And I guess honestly, maybe wouldn't have mattered since there was a shock at the very end. It's kind of difficult to tell who it was from though, but all these last minute shocks here proving to just barely be enough to prevent the tide of like the race turning and maybe securing first for V2 if they do end up being V2 shocks in the end.
Yeah, it's really interesting because if you have shocks happening at the very last minute, there's almost no way to tell if it was held, if it was spammed, you know, which team pulled it, but it certainly didn't it if that was a V2 shock, it would have been interesting to see if they tried to call that to ruin Kevo.
Yeah, for sure. As we see V2 up by 16 going to the second half of the war.
Yeah, it's an interesting dynamic because if you're V2, you have to be pretty comfortable, you're up by 16, you're winning the war. It's going relatively well, but coming into this being a really heavy favorite, you almost wonder like should V2 be up by more right now? Is KA showing that, they're playing this war really well and they still have a chance to surge into the lead here? It's going to be interesting to see as these races progress if V2 just takes over or if it's KA who starts to chain some massive races.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure we saw KA going into top 2 as Kevo gets taken out. Now he's upping to bag a little.
Yeah,
Thoughts
having these.
down here are
Oh
relatively mixed.
wow.
And he pulls the bill after the boo in ninth, so
Yeah, Boo might be something that's not super helpful for him, but Bill on DS, it sets your race up really nicely. He's able to take a Bill extension that we're probably going to see coming out from him that should just get him into the top spots relatively safely and easily. But as I mentioned, that Boo wasn't the best.
and Kevo opting to bill in the middle of the eel, which will take him all the way to the line. Shot
Oh,
comes in.
that explains it. That was definitely a KA shock. It looked like they opted to TS the players from V2 who were in top spots. Kevo was sitting really pretty. He had two dodges, so he was able to spend one and then use the other to dodge relatively freely. There's a top two from V2. Maybe, oh, my bad. Top two
Yeah,
from
top 2 from
KA.
KA right
Yeah,
now. While V2 or 3-4.
we are looking at a 3-4 from V2.
3-4-5, actually. With triple greens in 5th, so.
the 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 countdown is beginning. The race will be ending shortly. V2 wants to really break these top spots up. It looks like Zenith was able to take the glider strat
Oh, Ivan
and
gets
a
taken
snipe.
out.
That was a great snipe from Ensy, able to take Ivan out there. So they turn that top two into a 2-3-4-5,
Two, three, four,
two
five,
three
seven,
four
nine.
five.
Bottom three for KA at the very end of the race.
Ensy absolutely wrecked Ivan there. Those triple greens, he was able to use them just to his advantage and get K and turn KA's top two into a very bad race.
And it's kind of weird too, cause like right after the shock, like we saw Kevo like dodging in the bill, like after he used it like in the middle of the eel, and he looked behind him, and KA were like top 3, 5, or maybe even top 4, like right then. It's like you have to ask yourself, like, what happened like in the middle of lap 3 that made the KA top 3 at the very least turn into like 1-6 at the very end of the race.
Yeah, it seemed to be just Ensy and Zenith able to optimize the items that they pulled. Zenith, it looked like he got maybe double shrooms in third, and he took that glider strat at the end there. And then Ensy with triple greens able to land a super clutch snipe. But I'm just as lost as you are as for the reasoning as to why they dodged, they got into top three, and V2 was just able to pull up and get a really good race there at the end.
Yeah, and the
It
fact that it chose Goldmine now with the 2, 3, 4, 5 for V2, V2 are looking really comfortable.
Yeah, that race could only be described as a save for V2. You know, it looked like everything went in KA's favor, and then at the end they played super smart, super well, and they got a massive race, and now they're able to chain onto their runner, and they're 1-3 right now.
Yeah, we see top 2, I think even top 3 for V2. Yeah, Anthony in third, it's gonna be top 3 for V2.
Yeah, holding a shroom here in second, Inzy might want to try to chain for a horn or something, but he should be pretty solidified in this second place spot. He doesn't have to worry about a threat from first. He doesn't have to worry about a threat from third. He can just chill at this point.
Yeah, if you're Henry or Enzy even, you can probably start chaining boxes like right around now to try to pull a horn, either for yourself in first or for your teammate.
Yeah, blooper, you know, that shouldn't do too much. They have to look out for the bats, but other than that, they have no pressure right now. Inzy is just absolutely chilling. Henry as well. And now we're going over to Kevo, where he's having to deal with Anthony, the man, holding them back. Kevo
Oh,
deals with
Anthony gets
Anthony.
clapped, actually.
A really good snipe from Kevo, doing what Inzy basically did to his team, but then he takes a
And he
red.
gets redded for it.
The
So,
support from V2.
yeah, V2 are gonna break back into top 3. Well, top 2 themselves are very spaced out. Looking at the back, actually, well, yeah, the shot comes in.
Yeah, you said it. You were gonna say
That's
it.
a KA shock for sure.
Yeah,
Kevo falling off the track to dodge, holding his triple shrooms, so...
yeah. Took
And
all
he
the
gets billed
build
by his
coming out from
teammate. That's
his
actually
teammate.
so unlucky, dude.
Yeah, that's painful, and there's still just this top three from V2,
And now
maybe
V2 are
even
top
a
4.
yeah top four. I almost wonder, it looks like Zenith was able to predict that KA shock, and you know, unless something comes up from KA here, like
There's
that
fire coming in
fire,
as well. Ivan
even the
gets
fire
greenlined
didn't
on the
do too
line.
much. It actually
That's
looks
top
like
5 for
was that a
V2.
top five?
Yeah, Shadow got 5th, pretty sure.
Top
Top 5,
5, 12.
12.
That's 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 the race V2 needs to just solidify their lead in this war. Say, we're the higher seed here. We're the favorites here. We're gonna win this war. There's nothing your shocks can do about it. And they did get that last place position, but there's got to be somebody who takes the L so they can get that top five.
And like, dude, it's kind of just like the last race. Like, you have to ask yourself, that was a KA shock. Because I don't think Keva would have fallen off the track to try to prevent, or to try to predict the V2 shock. Or V2 even did have it if they would use it since they were like top 4 already to begin with. So, how was it that KA used shock and have like 2 or 3 other people dodge, and V2 still end the race getting top 5, 12?
Yeah, I think that was just really once again, V2 playing almost perfectly with the items that they're dealt. They already had they had Henry and Enzy broken so far away in top 2. So when the shock did come in, they were still in top 2. And, Kevo was the guy who fell off and then was in 4th to challenge their top spots. And, the build kind of took him out. So after that, all they had to deal with was maybe 1, 2 more KA members, and they're just solidified in that top 5 position, which they secured. And now we're going into Wario Stadium.
Yeah, V2 are actually like showing their dominance as the first seed in this division, being up by 60 with 1 more GP to go. If KA want to win, they have to do something this race.
Yeah, and that's going to be very challenging. V2 has shown that, they're very strong players. The items that they get are probably going to be hitting you if you're KA. And it appears that every time KA puts themselves in a really good situation that V2 has an answer. Right now, KA has just put themselves into 3-4, but Ensy has this red. He's probably going to look to or not.
That
The
bomb
snipe.
dude.
That was a clean bomb snipe.
V2 are still 4-5-7 pretty sure. Kevo breaking into 2nd here with his teammate behind him in 3rd. We can probably safely assume that that's still Zenith in 1st, or if not Zenith, at least another V2 member, seeing as the red is coming up from Kevo.
Yeah, Kevo throwing a red there. He has 4 shrooms, which is not the worst thing in the world to pull when 1st is so far ahead. He's probably just hoping for reds though here. Oh, that was
and
that
then
nano. That nano was really well placed. 1st is keeping up the pressure. It might look like he's too far ahead to land any backspans, but he's throwing a lot back right now.
Yeah, dude, he's backing bombs and they're not even connecting on 2nd since he's so far ahead. He pulls a boo in 2nd, dude.
Yeah, there's a blue out now. He did smartly use that boo to sort of avoid anything and maybe potentially steal a horn. It's going to be interesting to see if that blue affects something. If Kevo gets a red here, which he does pull, he might be able to do something here. But it looks like he's playing it safe.
Yeah, he's just opting to play it safe, keep 2nd for the team.
And it looks
Actually,
like
KA getting 2-3-4.
Yeah, KA coming up behind him. We shall see how this race did turn out. 2-3-4 bottom
3 as well for KA.
Yeah, so, KA played that really strongly to get into those top spots, but the pack support from V2 was able to put KA into that bottom 3 as well and keep them there. And, that's not a race that KA can really benefit off of.
Yeah, like Ensy was able to stay in 2nd for a decent amount of the race until he got taken out, but at that point it just didn't really even matter since Zenith was just that far ahead in 1st, to the point where Kevo in 2nd wasn't really pulling reds. He just pulled 4 shrooms, and at some point he pulled a boo while there was a blue coming for him as well, but it just was not enough to take him out from his almost 10-second lead.
Yeah, Zenith just too far ahead for anything to stop him. But, that was really huge of Zenith with that nano on Kevo. I think that sort of solidified him getting 1st. Most people who are in 1st want to play the game safe, but Zenith went aggro. He put that nana back, even if Kevo pulls double reds or triple reds on him, and it worked out perfectly.
Yeah, dude, it really did. And now V2 are up by 68 with 3 more races left. If KA need to get a really good race here if they even want to stay in this still.
Yeah, mathematically the chances are getting slimmer and slimmer for KA. Kevo with a red. There's still mid spots as we've been seeing, but Zen is still up there. Yeah.
Really mixed. I assume they're going to be a lot better established after the glider, or at the very beginning of lap 2.
Yeah, that was pretty huge there, yeah.
And I think it does connect with Zenith, and he does get the trail on Shadow too. So.
Yeah, trails Shadow. That was really well played by KA. We saw Ivan go on the right path so that Kevo could red Zenith out, and then, well,
boomerang.
Boomerang comes up. It looks like that was thrown by Anthony, who is showing himself to be really, really strong support for V2 right now, putting V2 in 2-3.
Taken out as well. So now V2 are 2-3, maybe even 2-3-4 now. Yeah.
Yeah, much like Toad Harbor, we're kind of seeing Ivan being alone right now, and look what Ensy has here to throw at Ivan. This is
perfect, dude.
This
Nothing
could be deadly.
More perfect, dude.
Exactly, dude. With say what you want about blues being a bad pull, but when V2 is putting themselves in that 2-3-4 position, that blue is probably the best pull that Ensy could hope for there.
And now Ensy's able to just golden up in the 5th. He pulls a red in 5th.
Oh,
Oh, in the
took
back.
took a green from Kevo, but he still has these greens. His teammates are around him. I think we're looking at least like 2 of those top 3 spots being
When K
V2.
gets taken out, so I'm pretty sure that could be a V2 top 2.
Yeah, this is looking like a top 2 from V2. Kevo
And with the fire
fired.
back from Zenith,
Now Shadow coming up as well. That might be it for KA.
yeah. Oh, he actually takes Shadow out like right on the line, so he gets 3rd.
Oh wow, Shadow kind of, well, he did take Shadow out, and Shadow got
Yeah.
annihilated there on the line, but
Yeah, it's
that's,
still gonna be a huge race for V2. Well, not huge, but relatively good. Top 2, 6, and I think 8, 9, 10. I'm not entirely sure.
yeah, so you hate to say it if you're a KA fan, but this war, it's pretty much over for KA.
This war is looking kind of like curtains already. Yeah, it's still
We,
mathematically possible, and we'd love to see KA like still give it an effort since they're still technically in it, even though it's barely by a little bit. But other than that, though, being down 78 with 2 races left.
yeah, if you recall at the midpoint, this war was still pretty close. V2 was up by 16, and I said, V2 is such a heavy favorite. Should they be up by more, and are they going to start really asserting their dominance over KA as the favorite, as the higher seed? And we've really seen that now. V2 coming out and showing we want to be the front runners of this division. We want to be the team that people are scared of, and they're doing that right now.
And V2 are just actually playing out of their minds right now. And chaining that on top of all of their running tracks being picked in a row, V2 are absolutely dominant in this war right now.
Yeah, DS DS and Goldmine really set it straight for me. Watching how well V2 was able to play those situations. You know, Not to discredit KA, they pulled shock, and I think their shock usage was really good on those 2 tracks. But V2 had the answer every time for every play that KA made on those races, and it wound up really benefiting them.
And like you really can't discount KA as well, since like there were quite a few races where at the very beginning Kevo and a couple of his teammates were able to break into top 2 or even top 3. But of course, like events happening in the middle of the race.
Oh wow.
That back, dude.
Yeah, Kevo with the sweaty back on Ensy there. Still 2-3 from V2, however. Uh-oh. It might be time for Kevo to commit some war crimes, and he takes out
Dude.
Anthony.
Anthony actually just got swept into the carpet, dude.
Yeah, but moral of the story is V2 will always be 2-3-4. If you kill one of them, there's still going to be 2-3-4. There's V2 pressure all the time if you're a KA member in first. And if a blue comes out here, then it's just deadly again for KA.
Yeah, we see V2 still kind of sticking in the 2-3 at the very least. Anthony
Yeah.
and Blast as well.
Nana's back from Kevo trying to lay some booby traps for Ensy to give him more space. Doesn't work out, but at this point, Kevo appears to have established his place in first, but V2 has also established their place in 2-3 at the very least. Gonna nullify whatever gain that first place might be.
And if V2 are getting 2-3 and probably even 4-3 at least, maybe 5th, then that'll... Yeah, 2-3-4, 9-10-11, that's gonna be curtains for sure.
Yeah, that does actually seal the deal for this war. V2 running the score up, why not run the score up? Why not keep giving it your all? Even though you won the war, they can still make a really big statement right now, and that's what they're doing.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, I see.
Top 5 Mooden.
Top 5 Mooden, understandable.
Look, man, like when your team gets top 5 and you're the one person that wasn't able to make it the top 6, it feels bad, but once you realize that you were the one that was taking the hits for your team to get into that top in the first place, it feels a little bit. It feels pretty good, knowing that you were the punching bag for a good cause.
Yeah, after you see that top 5 and then your place, you're always like, "Oh no, I didn't get top," I'm the odd one out here, and then you realize, "Oh, we got top 5." That's really hype. We we have a good chance of winning this war, you know. Can't feel too bad about that. Final race, Grumble Volcano.
Hashtag taking the hits for a good cause.
Indeed. And, if you're interested in sticking around after this race, we are going to be announcing our primetime matchup for tomorrow. It's going to be pretty hype. We have two very strong teams competing, so stick around to the end of this race. We know V2 already won, but we have another hype announcement at the end of this.
Yeah, for sure. This race is kind of just finishing the. Oh, okay, okay,
Yeah,
dude. Kevo in first though. He's kind
yeah.
of gaming right now.
If you're Kevo, you have a good amount of points. You probably want to pad your end of stat. Make whoever drafted you in MKU fantasy a happy man. So he's gonna go out all out still, and I really respect that.
I mean, sure you lost the war, but might as well boost your spot on the D5 and div sheet. Might as well.
Yeah, back in first, just like on Hyrule. I'm going to assume that it is V2, perhaps in 2, 3, 4, but you know it's Muden. V2 got top 5 Muden, so by that logic, Muden's not a threat.
Oh, and Shock comes in actually. For
Yeah, that
V2, I could assume.
a V2 shock. Yeah, that's they're still. If you're V2, they're still going in. They want to get some more huge races. A shock comes in. It looks like really good spots for V2.
Yeah, V2
Uh,
are 4,
4,
5,
5,
6,
6,
7 at the very
7. Yeah.
least.
I don't know who that Scooty is. It is a KA member, but I think we're looking at top 4 right now from V2.
Wait, that's Anthony in second. Can't really tell who's first though, whether it's still
Oh,
Kevo or. And another
okay
shock
then.
comes in.
I mean, I see how it is. If you're KA and you're getting shocked, why not? Why not go for another one? And that's gonna work out in their favor. And look who we have
Oh
here,
yeah.
hitting first place.
Oh,
That's
that's a top
actually,
3 for KA
yeah,
actually,
that's
dude.
a really good race for KA. And respect to them. They played that race really well. If most of the time when a team gets shocked, they're already giving up. They lost the war, but they went for another shock and they put that effort together to get a really good race.
Kevo taking the fat points. Gotta love it.
All right, and now, the moment that we sort of teased as we see version 2 secure the win in this war, we would like to announce our prime time for tomorrow. And we actually have a bit of a graphic here. We are going to be having Dynamite Alpha versus Black Wolves Polar tomorrow at 22 Central Europe time, aka 4 Eastern. I'm really hyped for this match. I might be a little biased because this match is occurring in a division that I'm playing in. So I'm really hyped to see how it turns out. But I think it's going to be interesting to see a new Dynamite Alpha roster and, Black Wolves returning, a veteran team now playing again. It's going to be a really close match, and I hope you guys all tune in to see that. I will be personally tuning in because I think it's going to be really great.
Yeah, for sure. Like Dynamite Alpha are, I believe, seated first, or at the very least second in D3, while Black Wolves Polar are seated near the middle in like fifth or sixth, I think. So this should definitely be a good match to tune into after your own two matches at 2 and
Hmm.
3 EST.
Yeah, and with that said, I would like to thank everybody who showed up to watch Primetime at night. We're really going to be hoping to be able to do this every week. I think it's a really fun thing to watch teams who maybe might not see the spotlight a lot. And so going forward, I'm hoping that more people are looking in to tune in again. So thanks for watching the stream, and we'll see you guys next time.